Hey, just as a warning for those of you who are not fan of long-winded ramblings coming from my head with absolutely no script in general, that's what this video is. If you're not a fan, just move on to the next video that's going to be coming out. Check out the back catalog, and yeah, so enjoy the video. Back with my Volume 8 review for Rwby. No, it's been a week longer than I planned, but happens to the best of us, was dealing with a bunch of tests in school, so decided to push it back. Still going to be doing Red versus Blue. Probably going to start that next week or the like. But anyway, gonna do a quick run through of the volume, just what I thought, and then go into a bit more detail if I find it necessary. Major events. Episode 1, Ironwood shoots any potential of there being a morally gray character in the show. Episode 2, Weiss gets ejected into Atlas. Also, Robin and Crow had some stuff going on. 3, that was a second part of the heist. 4 was Ren just spitting straight facts, saying the things that nobody wanted to say, but they're actually the most needed things. Those are quickly dropped after the break. Amity, that's our fight with Penny and Cinder. After that midnight, finally figure out why Cinder is a mild bitch. Think this is where we had the break. But with it, war. This was our whole talk, and then Mercury and Emerald have. This was the episode of talking and sipping tea while the world burns. After that, that's Dark. Believe that was the Hound reveal, or if not, it was just the huge fight. Yeah, that was the reveal of the Fox and the Hound. Great movie, by the way. After that, we have uh, what's his face? Oh shoot! Sorry, Hazel. Hazel will unfortunately die. Still hope something happens to him. But there's that. Ultimatum. Ironwood has great presentation for a villain, even though they did funky stuff with his character. Risk. That was the good old fashioned bit with Nora and Ren talking to each other. That was nice to see. Just some good old talking. Creation, episode 12. Ironwood gets his butt kicked after staying awake for 48 hours and being tricked by an illusion. After that, also Penny got a body. Next we have Worthy. Cinder and crew go in. slaughter the entire her staff, including what's his name, like Bill, the number one dud. That was pretty interesting. Also, Yang gets knocked into the void, doesn't die unfortunately, and finally we have the final word. We go through our normal final volume things of fight, fight, fight. Neo gets knocked into oblivion with Team Rwby, as well as John. Possible beach episode incoming. Ironwood is currently MIA. On the wiki, it says his status is unknown, so holding out hope that he actually gets a decent arc, though not holding my breath. And then Penny gets killed for a second time. But yeah, overall, this volume was meh for me. Could it be the fact that I had really high expectations from Volume 7, which is one of the best, in my opinion, right below Volume 3? That's with 3 being first. This just, it felt like it had so much to live up to, but it just fell short. At the beginning, it was really fun, just all around a good time. Then at the middle, we lost a whole lot of momentum from the multiple breaks. I feel the volume itself would have been better received, at least on my end, if, we didn't have a month or two break where nothing happened. And they also could have better placed that, even though I know it was unprecedented. Overall handling, it was just meh. The fights in the beginning were decent. The bit between Salem and whatever that team is going to be called was really nice, but towards the end of the volume, things just started to slog. No, that's mostly my personal take, because from what I've seen, almost everyone else really enjoyed the volume. And again, no, I'm mainly on my own on this, but Ironwood could have been better handled. Or handled better. Yes, I speak English. First off, Metal, it's one of the worst semblances out there, in my opinion. The description is, and this is coming from the Rwby.fandom.com wiki. Metal is a semblance of James Ironwood. Metal strengthens his resolve and allows him to carry through his decision, helping James hyper-focus. That just sounds like a personality trait. Well, I think this could have been fun with how it was handled. Having at semblance or at aura breaks he had, him just come to the shock of, oh god, what have I done? Did I really just threaten to nuke a city? But instead we just get, my semblance broke, my aura broke. Time to reactivate my semblance, which has been causing me to pull some of the stupidest actions available. But it even says on the uh, wiki, it is unclear whether or not uh, you can tell his semblance has been activated. It hasn't even been mentioned in the show. At that point, I don't think that even qualifies as canon. And speaking of canons, what is that giant weapon, stupid, double blasting stuff that looks like it weighs a solid 10 pounds? I get he's mostly robotic, but that just slowed down his fights so much. But anyway, moving on from my rant, which you have most likely suffered through more than enough times. Emerald's turn felt not rushed, but like we were missing one or two scenes of her, actually thinking about it as opposed to, oh, you guys are rebelling? Here, let me join you. Hazel, he did alright. Really gonna miss him. And if he, assuming he stays dead, which he most likely is, just given everything. Next, major things, the Hound. It's an interesting concept. I'd like to see it fleshed out more. And that's about all I really have to say about it. I'm not really one to speculate much. Though, if you want me to, I can try. Harriet, of all the people to give yes, I loved Clover. I am now regretting all of my actions. Or, was it really Harriet? I don't think they ever talked directly to each other once. If you're gonna do something like that, at least make it obvious what you're thinking about, because otherwise it just falls flat. Penny becoming human. She's dead. That's about all I can say. Crow and Robin. Okay, Robin managed to mess things up again. At this point, I'm pretty sure her semblance is come in at exactly the wrong moments and fuck everything up that was going decent. Because without her, Elm would be alive. Rest her soul. Crow might see Drunkle Crow again just because his daughter, or yes, his daughter, his nieces died in when the water washed over Atlas as it fell, according to him. Maria and Pietro. Where are they? Last we saw, they were in Amity and lightly floating to God's knows where. Tyrion and Mercury, they're fun. Who else? Klein, it was good to see him again. Ambrosius, really like his design. He is just gender bent Jin, which is really not that bad. Everyone else we saw. Oh yeah, Drunk Man. He showed up at the end. Yeah. music wise, I felt the volume didn't have nearly as much as it had before, which, hmm, never really thought I would be saying that about any volume other than one. But the music just felt lacking, and I'm not complaining. All the music they do is normally good, but just waiting for that to come out. Uh, what else do we have? I think that's about it for within the volume. The designs of Mercury and Emerald were greatly improved. Hazel has pipes stapled to the side of his chest. Never knew you could get a six pack on your side. Uh, Yang, she's being a bitch. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, that's about par for the course now. Rwby, yeah, everyone more or less stuck to their roles, though it would be nice to see more action. Okay, Atlas was where Weiss is from, yes. Therefore, we should have seen a whole lot more Weiss action, at least in my book. I I think the most she really did this volume was sit around, sip tea while the world burned, and summoned the Armagigas once or twice. And speaking of which, wish she would move away from her summoning fighting style to back to the ballerina with a rapier style. Missed, just missed seeing that. And honestly, I think that has something to do with the giant ass floofy dress she has. But yeah. So also the Oscars are coming up for Rwby. I will put a link to those in the description. Not sure who is hosting that. I am generally out of the loop when it comes to that sort of thing. But I'll throw a link down for those just in the chat or description. Let you guys fill those out. And then also join the Rwby Reactors Discord server. I'm sure we'll have a few discussions just in general of what's going on, so we can keep you guys interested. And yeah, until next time, this is Elvin Prince signing out.